with a number of crises around the world. I think this is a very dangerous moment not to have those procedures in place.
And David Sanger, what more have you learned about why these procedures aren't in place? Why there's still so much uncertainty on the part of people working for the National Security Council?
Well, I think part of it, Judy, is that what we're seeing happen here is an administration that came in saying that it would destroy the status quo, that it got elected to do something different. And it has brought in people who it deliberately chose for the fact that they were outside Washington. But that meant that they didn't have around them the people who understood how the system worked. And so you saw General Flynn come in, I think without much of an understanding, although he run the Defense Intelligence Agency, of how this coordinating role came together. And, you know, people who know the NSC well talk about the days when General Frank Scowcroft ran it, or George H.W. Bush, when others familiar with how these organizations are supposed to come together, how you build staff, as Secretary Panetta did at the CIA and as Chief of Staff. And I think most of these folks have come in without that experience, and then they brought in cabinet members who largely came from the business world, bring a refreshing, different view to this, but also have no sense of how the system's supposed to run. So the basics, running deputies, committees, make decisions, and run those up to the principals, aren't happening.
Secretary Panetta, what are the risks in a situation like this?
Well, you're running terrible risks. We saw a little bit of that over the weekend with the North Korean missile launch, and what seemed to be the inability of the White House to respond definitively to what had happened. Those kinds of crises are going to happen. We're dealing with a number of crises, whether it's ISIS, whether it's Iran, whether it's North Korea, whether it's Russia or China, cyber attacks. There's a whole array of crises out there. If you don't have a mechanism in the White House that's able to deal with those crises in a thoughtful and careful way in order to move options to the president, then you're going to have a very hit-and-miss operation, the kind that we're seeing now.
David Sanger, I know this is speculation, but if there were someone to come in to replace Michael Flynn if he's removed, how much difference would that make based on your reporting?
Well, it depends on who it is. Whether you bring in somebody else who might have the confidence of the president but not understand the NSC procedures, or whether you bring in somebody who's done this before but might not fit in well with that inner team around the president. And of course, the most important thing for an NSC advisor is to have the trust of the president. So people have named, for example, Steve Hadley, who was the National Security Advisor under George W. Bush in his second term, and has been experienced in things like this. There are a few other Republicans around who have also had that experience, but none of them have connections to Mr. Trump. And Mr. Trump seems to be mostly impressed these days with people who've had either military experience, most of the senior directors he's appointed on the NSC come from the military, or have been very successful in business. And neither of those two backgrounds necessarily help you with what the NSC does.
And very quickly to Secretary Panetta, new person comes in, can that turn things around quickly?
If that person has experience in terms of how the NSC is supposed to operate, then I think you can put in place the procedures that are required to do. But that person is going to have the trust of the president first and foremost. And if he has that, or she has that, it could work.
Secretary Leon Panetta, David Sanger, we thank you both.
Apparently, I have to advise a child on the rigors of Final Fantasy. Which one? 9. So, that's all for TigerLilly. Even though she looks like she's about to attack.